Słuchasz podcastu Agni Ajurweda zrozumiale i dostępnie, odcinek 80. W poprzednim odcinku mówiłam o transformacji, jaką przeszedł mój podcast i już po tej transformacji tym wygodniej i swobodniej czuję się poruszając tematy biznesu prowadzonego w sposób holistycznie. Najlepszym sposobem, by rozpocząć odrodzenie podcastu Agni Ajurweda jest rozmowa, jaką przeprowadziła ze mną Marian Nielsen-Joos. Marian poznałam w 2018 roku w Szwajcarii, a potem w 2019 wzięłam udział w jej programie Lead with Soul. W programie, który dał początek wielu cudownym zmianom, których doświadczyłaś jako klientka Agni Ajurweda, ponieważ przeniósł mój sposób przewodzenia i kierowania firmą z umysłu do serca. Zapraszam Cię bardzo serdecznie do posłuchania rozmowy, w której biznes szaman, bo tak o sobie mówi, czyli szamanka biznesu Marian Nielsen-Joos z pochodzenia Dunka, mieszkająca w Szwajcarii, pyta mnie o tą ewolucję i o pokonanie dosyć znacznego odcinka pomiędzy głową a sercem w przewodzeniu i w kierowaniu firmą. Witam Cię w podcaście Agni Ajurweda zrozumiale i dostępnie. Nazywam się Maria Nowak-Szabat. Wspólnie z mężem Michałem od 8 lat prowadzę Agni Ajurweda. Pomagam kobietom skorzystać z Ajurwedy w życiu osobistym i zawodowym. W każdym odcinku otworzysz serce i umysł na tą piękną, starożytną wiedzę o życiu. Przede wszystkim będę mówić o tym, jak Ajurweda służy na ścieżce zawodowej. Niezależnie od tego, czy jesteś konsultantką Ajurwedy, marzysz o tym, żeby nią zostać, albo prowadzisz inny biznes, który chcesz zamienić w holistyczny biznes, czyli w biznes, który szanuje Twoje pięty achillesowe, w którym wiesz, jak je chronić i doskonale wiesz, jakie masz asy w rękawie. Ajurweda jest prosta, ale jej zrozumienie i zastosowanie w codziennym życiu, także w życiu zawodowym, wymaga wsparcia. Od zawsze była przekazywana w relacji nauczyciel-uczeń w formie otwierających serce i umysł opowieści. Bardzo się cieszę, że mogę się z Tobą dzielić moją pasją i doświadczeniem z prowadzenia 8 lat firmy w tej przestrzeni. Firmy, która stała się 7-cyfrowym, holistycznym biznesem. Bardzo się cieszę, że spędzisz ten czas ze mną i starą, mądrą Ajurwedą. Hello, Marian, and I'm so happy that you came here to my podcast in this special, unusual role.
Yes, thank you, Maria, for being here, and thank you for the invitation. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. So before we start with your questions with our conversation, please introduce yourself, who you are and what you do.
Yes, I am Marian and I am Danish, but I live up here in the Swiss Alps since over 20 years. Love brought me to this country. And now I'm mother of 3 children and I'm still happy up here in my mountains. Who am I? I'm rooted in Chinese medicine since over 20 years. That's really my foundation, this whole ancient tradition, just like you are with the Ayurvedic tradition. We are cousins here.
Yeah.
And then a journey took me further on, and it's been about my shaman journey, and I have named myself a business shaman. That's the way we have worked. It's slowly transforming right now into soul seer and modern shaman, and stuff is happening. Life is never still, right? Even if you feel like it's still, but it's definitely not. So I'm mainly about, seeing people and seeing into them and pulling out what needs to come out in there. And it's about the soul. A shaman's work is about the soul. So that's, I believe, who I am. And we have worked together for a long time, Maria, almost 2 years. So let's see what my work have done for you, because that's what we're going to put in today, right, in this pot here.
Yes. It's like a celebration call on our 2nd anniversary.
celebrating.
Yes, celebrating the journey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was researching into this years, Maria, and we started out that you joined my course, Lead with Soul. It's a 3-month program, very intense, with a lot of shamanic journeys and rebirthing and death and dying and everything in between almost. And I still recall, because there were some private sessions also there, I can still feel you and sense you from then. You know, how, when I recall this, it's about you. How do you say that now? The German word came instead of the English word. When you live in 3 languages, all these languages mix up. You know, that's too, Maria, right?
Yeah.
It's like recognizing oneself, or going on this journey to find oneself. And I recall you sitting there often when we were talking, or when there were sessions, and it's like, you know, you can almost see a light bulb goes on. And that's what I can remember in the beginning, and you sharing all of this. And you know, Maria, I wanted to ask you about, who was Maria in end of the year 2019, and who is Maria now? We are slowly coming to an end of 2021. So this is 2 years period. So can you recall who Maria was 2 years ago, and where are you now?
It's not so easy, you know, because thanks to working with such wonderful women like you, I feel the change is really who I am now. I became someone else. I'm still the same, but this whole process is so inside me that it's hard for me to relate to the past. Like, I used to be this and now I'm this. But what I really feel is that I'm grounded now. I'm self-confident, and I have this deep trust for my feelings, for my heart, for my intuition. And back then, what I remember is that I was attracted by you as an example of someone who is aligned with heart, who is in trust with feelings. And for me, it was something that I was reaching to, like, you know, heading towards this state. And now I feel I arrived, which means that I can embrace it, I can develop it, and I can inspire other women to follow. I really received this blessing of meeting you among other beautiful souls around the same time in November 2019, as someone who is on this path few steps ahead. So I felt that it's not something weird for me to be attracted to those qualities, that actually it's possible to go this way, to exactly like your program is named, to lead with soul, to take a decision from your heart. And it used to be something unusual for me, and now I'm doing this on a daily basis.
And here are so many golden nuggets in what you're saying, Maria, because first of all, I can see you here on video, and I know people listening to your podcast, they know you, or they're getting to know you. And if they see a photo of you, they see your beautiful, strong forehead.
Yes.
And that is your power of your mind. And it's very strong, because we in reading the faces in the ancient Chinese wisdom, it's like the upper part from the eyebrows up to the hairline. That's the mental part. You're very strong in this. So here was natural gift for you to lead from there. Then from the eyebrows to under the nose, that's where we are very practical. And from under the nose to under the chin, that's where we are intuitive. You also have a beautiful nose, Maria. We're going to talk a lot about your nose today also. You also have a beautiful mountain here, and that's your 40s. And because the whole face is also up in ages. And then your chin also, it stands beautiful out here. So there's a good willpower out here in the intuition. So this is how I've got to know you already, and looking into you and reading on the surface, what's on your face, how are your features, what are they telling me about Maria? And then it's about going inside Maria and then pulling out what needs to come out. But let me tell you something, Maria, that when you signed into my program and I asked you, what is your expectation for these 12 weeks? And you said, I want to be in touch with my heart and soul, deep in this connection that I feel is getting stronger and stronger. So this is what you said, 2 years ago. And this is what you just applied right now. What you said, this is what's so natural for you now, to work from your intuition, to be in contact with all of this, opening the door wide open to who you are inside. And I feel, when I recall and I've been looking into your journey today, this is what has happened, a huge healing transformation. I've written down what we have done in different sessions. We have been inside in your life and working with childhood things and forgiveness and healings, and maybe even, I don't think there's anybody without traumas. We have some traumas still, and they need to be healed, that we can be more of ourselves and become the lighthouse we want to be the leader that we are meant to be. And here we're talking about your beautiful nose, Maria. That's such a pioneer nose. Following that nose, it's like pointing in which direction. And last session we had, it was just about you wanting to see how is the profession of Ayurveda now in Poland. Because you work strongly towards this. The people are ready, your groups are ready, your tribe is ready. So wow, what a leadership role that you are coming into now, you're birthing yourself into.
It's pretty amazing, and when I remember being like a young girl, teenager, I used to have such a kind of complexes around my forehead and my nose. There are like the most significant features that I was seeing in the mirror. And now 20 years, now I'm embracing those features. And I'm very glad to know that this nose, which I inherited from my father and his father, is the nose of something who is going in the front run, in the avant-garde, so to say, leading something. And I feel very comfortable hearing this from you today and feeling this, because I always felt like this. It was just, I wasn't really sure of myself. I wasn't confident in this calling inside of me. And also, taking decisions from the mind, as you said, it's very natural for me to be analytic, logical, very sharp, fast thinking, and so on. But sometimes I had those experiences that I just knew without thinking, without all this process running in my brain. And then I remember wasting quite a lot of time trying to actually explain how I reached this very clear and very sharp understanding that yes, this is what I want to do, or no, this is not, this is something that I don't want to do. And once I opened my heart more, which is also interesting aspects of healing all what is inside. You mentioned this, yeah? But first with the first thought, once I connected more with my heart, it meant that I also stopped wasting energy trying to justify something which doesn't need to be justified. I just embraced that I have two ways of taking decision. One is through my analytical mind, and the second is through my heart. And the second one is mostly very fast, and it doesn't really give the reason, and it's not judgmental, which means that I don't need to judge something or someone as bad, wrong, or worst. I can say no and still stay in love with this project, this person, or whatever. And it's so very different than going and coming and arriving to no decision from your mind, because no decision from my mind, it used to be connected with judging someone or something as not worthy, as worst, as bad or wrong choice. And now it's so liberating to have the space in the heart for yes and no, and there is a love with it. It's really great change, because working with people, it also means working with a lot of different people. And what I shared with my students this year, I said something like this: the more your heart is open, the more capacity for success you have, because it means that you can welcome into your heart more and more people. And they will be very different than you. They will have certain features that are so different, like from different planets. And yet you will be able to be with them without judgment. I really feel it, and I really live it more and more. And I really love it, because it's it saves so much of the life energy, which in the end makes me more successful, more efficient. I have so many creative ideas, and I still have time for myself, for my family. It's pretty amazing how you can redirect the energy in a way that it supports your life instead of consuming your life energy.
Yeah, this is the Maria of today talking, huh?
Yeah, look at her.
Look at her.
It even amazed me.
Maria, that's the process, right? It's so wonderful to feel it later on when it's happened, right? And it's not a process we go through alone. It's really, we need support for this journey. Yes. We can't reach the highest, doing it alone. We need to be seen. We need to be challenged. We need to open ourselves. And then when I look at what we worked on, there was also in the beginning, there was a lot of forgiveness work and family work and, all of this that's right there connecting to our heart, the layers like the onion, we need to work around them and get into that beautiful heart of yours, the raw diamond that's in there. And then there was also, you talked about at one point, fear of being visible. And here we come back again to, one disliking, our features, which in the end are the strongest sides of yours, your brilliant mind and your pioneer nose that can do this frontier work in Poland and for Ayurveda. And you're not Indian. Maybe you were in a past life. I'm sure you were, because this is so on your heart when we talk about soul's life. And thinking about that pioneer nose of yours and getting to know you over these years and in all the sessions, when you were just, gazing suddenly, you kind of dropped all out of our conversation and suddenly you were just there and looking right and you just felt something and I gave you space to take this in, Maria. What happened in that moment with you when you were suddenly gazing out right and tell the people who are listening to this, what happened to you when you suddenly gaze out there and what's within you?
It's pretty amazing experience that I've been having since I remember first time having this when I was like 16, 17 years old and I was coming back late from my friends. And before going to my house, I was lying on the grass, like really looking into this very dark summer sky, gazing at the stars. And I was just getting some inspiration. I used to call it like a crystal nights. I felt like it's like almost like downloading something. And I used to also lying on the grass. It's like 11. Yeah. I'm teenager, 17, talking to myself and really not stopping, just like, okay, let it flow through me. But then it was not so difficult to say the same things even to myself in the daylight or to share it with someone else. And what I experienced working with you is that I had those moments during our session quite a lot, to be honest. But I didn't stop just on having them, but I was able to speak up and actually share it. So give this thought a material word, this presence, the presence of my voice, of your hearing this voice, of your comment to what I was saying. And it's very encouraging to share some very like pure, deep thoughts that are just hitting me in a way, because they are just coming. They are not asking, am I ready or not? Do I want them or not? They are just like flowing down. Yeah. And I used to remember censoring my thoughts. Yeah. It's like I would rather step back 2, 3, 4 steps, not sharing what I've seen and slowly losing connection with this, because the magic is when you can share it, then it became really something that you can, for me, I feel it like I can play with it, I can develop it, I can manifest it into certain project course or some understanding of my role, of my clients, and etc., etc. So it's pretty amazing to be able to really stop for a moment, pause for a moment, and then share it. And you were always there for me, encouraging me, like, what are you picking up? This is your favorite, I guess, sentence from our work. Yeah. What are you picking up? Like, tell me, your eyes were somewhere. Yeah. And if I wouldn't know that I was picking up something, you were there to remind me that actually I pick up something, and this is a safe, sacred space to share it. And once I share it, I kind of better remember it. And it was easier for me to reach back to this point, to this understanding, to this insight. And sometimes those things, they were clear thoughts, sometimes pictures, sometimes visions, and sometimes beautiful sentences, which served me very well, over the months, the sentences to which I could come back and just gain more and more inspiration from just a few beautiful words.
Yes, it was really your own inner guidance, right, that was talking to you and being supported in allowing that to come forth. And it gives clarity. And the more it gets natural to hear that inner voice, and speak it out. And you can even get surprised what comes out, right? Because, wow, did I know this? Did I say this, right? In the beginning, you can go like this. And suddenly the flows comes more natural over time. And you're connected to that wisdom that's in you. It's not just wisdom of this life, but it's that soul's wisdom that's here with us to do that we can live our purpose and serve what we're going to do here in our lives. Yeah.
It's really big. It's very bold. It's like so, this word came to me like expansion, because in those visions, those moments, I'm not limited by, oh, you can't, you are too young, too old, not enough, or whatever. Yeah. It just came as a full on, as like a message. It's all possible. You see it. So it means it's possible. It's such a beautiful state of being to feel so rich, in possibilities.
Yeah, and I can tell you, we look a lot, when I work with you, Maria, I look into your eyes all the time, and I feel you, and your eyes are talking the mirror of the soul, as we say. And in the beginning, there was this dreamy peach look, we call it, there was a shining there, but it was kind of not really there. And now, looking at your pictures from today, you just sent me some like just before this podcast, right? Yeah. And now there's such a directed peach look there. You are connected within. Now when the stream is coming, as you talked about, you're connected now. As you said 2 years ago, you want to be in touch with your heart and your soul. That inner voice, that directness has come to you. Yes. I can see it in your gaze now. It's there. It's direct. You are connected now, like you talked about, taking decisions. You don't have to argue it. The mind doesn't come and want to say something to it as well, for back and forward, or yes or no, or judging or whatever. It's a straight gut feeling that's coming. And so many people are talking about that gut feeling and trusting it. It's sometimes it's even can be not realistic what it says, but it will be because it's goal reaching, right? Yes. Beyond what maybe our mind would dare to believe we could do.
Yeah. There's a price that I needed to pay for it, and in a positive meaning, and I would like to go back to this healing part, because I see it really clearly in my case, and also in case of my clients who may be listening to this. Opening heart, it means also going back to those wounds, to those sufferings, to those sometimes very sad stories. And when I was like on this, in this journey of opening more and more, like every step almost, I stumbled upon some story connected with some suffering, and it was just this choice that I needed to make. Do I really want to stick with this suffering, which sometimes is like 35 years old, so almost as old as I am. I'm nearly 40 now. Or I'm letting to pay the price in a positive sense, meaning let go of this, forgive this person, forgive myself, just move on and kind of complete the story, make a space for a new chapter in the relationship between me and this person. Usually it's the person, and sometimes she's alive. I got, we had very deep work connected with my two sisters, younger and older. And sometimes those people are gone, like my mom. It was also very powerful for me to touch this pain yet again. And I see it when I work with my clients, especially those who are on the way to become Ayurveda consultant, meaning that they will be going in a very deep connections with their clients. and they want to work from the heart, but it's very easy to touch them and to create pain, because opening the heart also meaning kind of opening the wounds inside. And if they are not healed, it's so easy to be triggered. The wrong sentences, not so good look, being late, or I don't know, some malicious comment, and they are just closing down and then making very big stories around the small thing that happened. And I used to be like this as well. So somebody could say something and it really hit me strong, because actually what it was doing to me, it wasn't so powerful itself, but it was just triggering the old pattern, the old suffering. So letting go of those stories and really cry it out, and really setting myself free and those people who are involved in this as much as it's possible on this time, because on this particular take, so to say, because I believe in something like coming back, making circles deeper and deeper. I don't believe actually in something like this, that you heal it once forever and you're done. I believe more about like coming back and really into deep understanding, deep healing, and like building new qualities in the past as well. So basically, opening your heart, going through your heart, it sounds so nice and it's catchy. It's very popular nowadays as well, also in the mainstream. But I guess it's honest to say that it also requires courage to face your hurt from the past and to let go of these stories in which you feel like a victim, or in which you feel like someone who did something wrong.
This needs to be felt, what you just said, Maria, because there was, here you were not just talking like, experience mind to mind, but this is, we can feel what you have allowed to come here to the surface and how you have allowed transformation, and it brings back to being vulnerable. That's what you're talking about, allowing this. But in there, we all know there's a great power there, because the more we are vulnerable, the more we can become who we truly are, because we let go of control. So then really allow the healing. And as they say, it's never done, it's always a doing. Of course it will continue.
Of course.
But you have grown further and you're wiser. I hope we all get wiser the more we go on and the more we get into our wisdom. And everything you're sharing now also brings me back to a story and you even shared it, I think it was in the intake after you did the 3 months, which is like 2 years ago almost. Mm-hmm. And we talked about it also in one of your sessions where you mentioned it again. Mm-hmm. It was about you going to a palm reader.
Yes.
In India, right?
Yeah,
and telling you about the power of the mind. And here we come back again to your strong feature that you kind of disliked when you were younger. And here it is, your power. But that person also told, yes, a strong mind, but even a stronger heart, huh?
Yes. Yeah. I remember that he gave me really clear guidance that, I'm successful with this mind. He said something like this: I know you can do a lot with your mind, but you can really bring abundance to your life once you will connect with your heart, not only for your close ones, like your family members, but also for your clients. And my husband was standing next to me and he was like, yes, more of this. It's like saying, yes, we want more of you also outside our relationship. It's not only limited to those who I love, who are the closest one, but it's something that other people can benefit as well. And he was so true. This very short palm reading, it lasts, I don't know how many minutes, but few minutes. It was like a guidance for me for so many years, and also guidance which helped me to pick up you and what you were saying, to really see you as someone who can lead me down this way, from the mind to the heart, and creating more abundance in every possible meaning of this word for me and for my clients. And I'm so very happy that we have this chance to talk about this today, because whenever I hear something from my clients, some inspiring sentences, also some thank you, or some stories of their change, I always go back to my teachers and my mentors and my coaches, including you. Very grateful for this guidance because, being a part of this Ayurveda tradition, it means that I'm very humble in this way, that I believe in relationship between someone who is more, sometimes not always older, but more kind of like evolved on this path, someone who is leading, someone who is teaching, showing, supporting, guiding. Yeah, so it's possible for us to develop. And for me, it was possible to change so much over those 2 years. And I see how it's inspiring my clients to change themselves in a way that they really want, that they desire, that they want to be more in their heart and less in the mind.
But that's also the big treasure in there, Maria, right? This heart and this wisdom in there, because getting to know you over these years and seeing your journey and the more you opened up and that wisdom again connected to that comes from this heart and soul. To talk with the soul, it's connect to your own heart. And the way that you then also could see how you came into your power, the way you could read your clients then, and suddenly you will have visions for them, you will see which direction they were heading because you were connecting to that wisdom that opens up so much. Instead of, it's kind of mind and strategy and it's up here, but it's like all of it has room now. You can use all of your capacities, and qualities and gifts.
And it's so light to work in this way, that's among all the others gifts which comes along with this. It's such a pleasure and it's so light. I used to be quite, sometimes even tired after this deep work with clients because one-on-one requires quite a lot, and leading groups and creating some online courses, sometimes even more. And now, since it's flowing, so it's my favorite word. It's effortless. Yeah, I'm just there to receive and pass it on. I don't need to struggle with this. I don't need to justify and judge what came to me. And it really amazed me how precise the visions, the words, the sentences are, because I can see it in my clients how they respond to certain things. And sometimes they share the feelings like, oh, I feel goosebumps, or I feel it in my legs. And sometimes their eyes just open up, or they just change position on the chair. Basically, their whole body speaks that it received the truth. It was just, passed through me to them. And I'm really surprised that sometimes this one sentence, I feel sometimes, the whole session is just like a warming up before we are ready to really receive this one insight, one vision, one sentence, which is usually something that we already knew. This is very inspiring for me in your work, in the way you leading clients, that it's usually something is already there. So we are not going outside to pick something like external mentor wisdom. It's more like, mentor is there, but more to turn us inwards, to really get deep and into those very deep insights and just bring them outside.
Yeah, it's Maria, you should see yourself when you're talking about all of this and the process. It's I'm gonna say it's written or it's manifested on your face also, because in the beginning your purpose lines, when we look at them, that's the lines that come from the nose down to the mouth. They were stronger, but when they're a bit too strong, it's like you can be very like you're holding on to things, you have an opinion and you want to move forward like that. But now they have eased out. So it's then easing out. It's going with the flow. It's trusting, right? Allowing that what comes, to trust that and serve it on. Even if it's a vision or whatever it is that's meant to come. It's not like something, okay, I'm going to push this through. I'm going to tell them what to do, or I know better, or all of that. It's allowing who that person is in your sacred space for them to really open up and flower. And you said it yourself, it's like subtle changes that happens. Yeah.
It's so precious for me as a person and also as a teacher, because I see people are in need of this quality. They are just kind of tired of being told what to do, and they rather will sit with someone who will really understand them and pick up certain things from them And to really train consultants in this way, it brings the whole service into another level. That's why the word consultant is not sufficient anymore, because it's beyond someone who is just passing information and saying this and this and this, and kind of like imposing structures and habits and recommendations. They are all very important. You know, the Chinese medicine, yeah, it's like the base is there, but then the work that we are doing from the base, this is really possibility to give this freedom, to have this trust in your client that he can reach those insights, that intuition is there to guide him or her in your presence. I think especially nowadays when, you know, there is so much misinformation and like the mind is not capable of following through this. It's so like black and white and red, you know, all different colors. It's even more important to really tune in into what's coming from your insight, from your deepest knowledge, as you said, not only from this lifetime, but from your soul knowledge.
Yeah, it's allowing that spirit to have space. And that's the spirituality. Allowing that spirituality to come here, and that's allowing your spirit to be here and being present with it and recognizing, awakening to it, and what power there is. Yes, we still need our mind to think and all of this, of course, and we need some strategy, but having that spirit, your spirituality, to really let it grow and unfold, and that greatness that's there, and the wholeness that comes with it, the ease that comes with it, both personal and business.
Yes.
And as I'm talking this, I can see what's happening inside of you again, Maria. It's working. It's going there. You want to say something now again? Come on, let's hear it.
So I'm so happy that we have it. Like we have this, you know, we had it and we still have this experience. I see it as such a great gift for all of us, yeah? Taking part, participating in this, to really grasp the holistic aspect of Ayurveda. For me, it was first the body, the cooking, taking care of my intestines, then the spine. Later on, it was more about being fascinated in Ayurvedic psychology, the Vata, Pitta, Kapha mind. And now I really can embrace the spiritual part. And bringing this all together, it's pure Ayurveda. That's the three-dimensional, the physical, mental, and spiritual aspect of our being.
Yeah, like when you started chanting what's more in your sessions, right? And not limiting you, and about being visible and using this, and not being about the perfect sound, but that resonance to it, and allowing your voice to serve. And that spiritual journey that you've been on, it's been so beautiful to observe, and supporting you there, and just allowing you to guide yourself.
Yes. Thank you for inspiration, Marian, for all the unusual things that I brought into the way I live and I teach.
Yeah. Oh, it's been so wonderful to support you and to see your personal growth that supported you in your business growth, and to see you come more and more into alignment and loving your features now because you understand them, and using your gift and having this beautiful soft light around you because there is ease. Yeah. And as you said, to be connected with your heart and soul, right? That deepened connection, and to be that stronger and stronger. Yes. That you are spirited, that your spirit is here with you and supporting you. And yeah, wow.
Yes. Thank you so much for this conversation and for this meeting, which is a celebration of all those changes, and also something that is very inspiring for me to talk about this like this with you. And I believe for people who are listening to us, it will be also inspirational to see that it's actually possible what they feel inside. And sometimes it's maybe hard to put this into nice sounds, nice words, but I believe they feel that they want to have more of this quality in their life. And this would be my great wish for all of us, to be more connected with our hearts, because then life is really effortless and joyful.
Yeah, beautiful words, Maria. And it's been a pleasure supporting you amongst others and seeing you and feeling you. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Marian. All the best.
All the best to you too.
Dziękuję Ci za wspólnie spędzony czas. Wejdź na stronę agni-ajurweda.pl/80, gdzie znajdziesz notatki do tego odcinka podcastu. A jeśli chcesz poprowadzić swój biznes w sposób holistyczny, w pełni wykorzystując swoje asy w rękawie i chroniąc pięty achillesowe, jeśli chcesz, żeby Twoja firma służyła Tobie i Twoim klientom w holistyczny sposób, to zerknij na mój program Ajurweda Business Coaching. Tak się składa. Zapisy na drugą edycję programu dobiegają końca. Zerknij na link dostępny pod tym odcinkiem i poczuj, czy to jest coś dla Ciebie. I pamiętaj, kochana, pewność jest stanem duszy, a niepewność stanem umysłu. Serdecznie pozdrawiam.